introduction to the ayat we are going to recite Taraweeh, inshallah. The theme for tonight is about Ibrahim alayhi salam. وَإِبْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ, and so on and so forth. Several ayat in the section we are going to recite tonight, we talk about Ibrahim alayhi salam. And this is not the only surah that talk about Ibrahim alayhi salam. There are about 25 surahs in the Quran that talk about Ibrahim, either in great details or passingly. So for example, you have Surah Al-Imran, just like Surah Al-Baqarah, you have Al-An'am, وَقَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ آزَرَ, and so on and so forth. Even there is one surah in the Quran that bears the name of Ibrahim. And not every prophet has their name given to a surah in the Quran. So Ibrahim alayhi salam is very special. It is said in the Quran, مَا كَانَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ يَهُودِيًّا وَلَا نَصْرَانِيًّا وَلَكِنْ كَانَ حَنِيفًا مُسْلِمًا. It says that Abraham was not a Jew or a Christian because Christianity and Judaism came into being a long time after Ibrahim. So basically he was not a Jew or a Christian. But it says he has always been a Hanif, a Muslim, Hanif and Muslim. He has always been submitting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we said before, that the meaning of the word Muslim is someone who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do all things purely for His sake, and you try to be a good person. So this is what Islam is all about. There are a lot of things we do in Islam that have something to do with Ibrahim alayhi salam. For example, when you go for the Hajj, you remember Ibrahim alayhi salam because he moved his family to that spot and he built it. He raised the foundations of the Kaaba with Ismail alayhi salam. So when you go there, you circle the Kaaba, you remember Ibrahim alayhi salam. When you drink from Zamzam, you remember his wife Hajar, and so on and so forth. So the rituals of the Hajj have a lot of things to do with Ibrahim alayhi salam. Also, when you pray, the only prophet we mention in Salah is Ibrahim alayhi salam along with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. When you say, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallayta ala Ibrahim. Why Ibrahim alayhi salam? Why not Musa or Isa or An-Noor or any other prophet? Well, they give different opinions. There are different narrations given by Ibn Hajar and many scholars of Islam. They say when the Prophet ﷺ went في رحلة المعراج, when he was taken in the night journey to meet the prophets, he passed by all these prophets in the heavens, and every time he came across a prophet like Ilyas or Idris or Musa, and the Prophet ﷺ gave them salam, they gave him salam back. He gave them greetings, and they gave him greetings back. Except for Ibrahim alayhi salam, it says, وَعَلَيْكَ السَّلَامُ وَأَبْلِغْ أُمَّتَكَ مِنِّي السَّلَامُ. He says, peace be to you, and please convey my salams to my ummah. This is why in our prayers we always give him our salams, because he gave us salam first. Some of the ulama say that when we read in Tashahhud, we say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, and after this we say Allahumma wa barik ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim. We mention Ibrahim in our prayers at the end of the prayer, and we give him the blessings and the peace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They say this is the answer to the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam in Surah Al-Shu'ara. وَجَعَلْنِي لِسَانَ صِدْقٍ فِي الْآخِرِينَ. قَالُوا هَذَا. So the ayah says, Oh Allah, put my good mention on people's tongues. So make people remember me and praise me in a good way. So this is the answer to the dua. There's a very fascinating ayah about Ibrahim alayhi salam in Surah Al-Nahl, close to the end of the surah. We'll conclude with this inshallah before the adhan. It says, إِنَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ كَانَ أُمَّةً قَانِتًا لِلَّهِ حَنِيفًا وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. It says that Ibrahim alayhi salam was an ummah by himself, was a nation. This is the literal word of ummah. They give different tafsir. They say ummah means he was a scholar, he was a leader, and people walked in his footsteps. He was a role model for people. So this is one tafsir. Another tafsir is he was the only Muslim in his time. So he was the Muslim ummah all by himself. Everybody else was kafir, was a disbeliever around his time. He was the only Muslim there is. And this is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that he was an ummah before his wife Sarah accepted Islam. So he was all by himself. And you can't imagine how much work he did and all the difficulties he had been through and all the sacrifices he made and all the travels he made from Iraq to Palestine to where Mecca is, and to Egypt, back and forth. So he was a traveler basically, a lot of traveling. and a lot of da'wah, being thrown in the fire, his encounters with his people and his father, making da'wah, all the debates with the tyrant man according to Surah Al-Baqarah and all these things. But he was steadfast and he always persevered and he was very patient. So this is what I call the power of one. A man came to the Prophet ﷺ, كما في صحيح مسلم, وقال السلام عليك يا خير البرية. حديث في صحيح مسلم. فقال لست بذاك وإنما ذلك خليل الله إبراهيم. So the man came to the Prophet ﷺ and he gave him peace and he said, "You Rasulullah, you are the finest of all humanity." He said, "You are talking about Ibrahim, not me. Ibrahim." And this is authentic hadith in Sahih Muslim. So this is the power of one. He was one man, the whole world was against him, but he was very successful. Like Rasulullah ﷺ, the whole world was against him, but still he was successful. So one good person can make a huge difference. In the same way, one foolish person can make a huge difference. Now imagine when Muslims are doing a lot of da'wah, they are feeding the poor, they're giving out pamphlets, doing a lot of good things. Then one foolish Muslim makes something or does something stupid, now you're going to give Islam a bad name. Just one person. And if you don't believe in the harm of one, and the harm that one person can do, if you don't believe in the evil of one, you don't know anything about mosquitoes. So always remember my word. One single mosquito can keep you up all night. And the same thing happens with the Muslim community. We're doing a lot of good things. One bad Muslim will destroy all the good things we have been doing. So always think about the example of Ibrahim alayhi salam. إن إبراهيم كان أمة قانتا لله حنيفا ولم يكن من المشركين. And the last tafsir is that we human beings will have good qualities and we have bad qualities. Some of us are good in they are intellectual, some are generous, some are decent, some are honest, and so on and so forth. So Ibrahim alayhi salam had all these good qualities, so he by himself was a collection of all these qualities, and this is why he was an ummah all by himself. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يعلمنا ما ينفعنا وأن ينفعنا ويعلمنا